drag the kids to Pride. How about drag a tranny behind my car?
That'll do. Thank you. That was the real hate of the week.
Nobody saw it happen, but it's totally a product of Trump's America. Hoax hate crime of the week.
Ah, shit, it's backwards. You think they'll notice?
Yep,
I love this story. Did you have a chance to read this one beforehand?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So Branford, Connecticut, the city's only black firefighter, Jeremiah Brown, emergency responder too, I think. Anyway, Jeremiah Brown, the only guy who works at the fire department in Branford, Connecticut, the only black guy who works there, received a watermelon cake from his colleagues for his birthday, also in celebration of his recent weight loss. A photo of the watermelon cake was posted to social media. Regrettably, I was not able to find the image of the watermelon
cake.
Oh,
come on.
Fire Chief Thomas Mahoney tells a reporter that he is livid about the photo and demanded its removal for the racism inherent in the depiction. Apparently, though, it doesn't matter that the black guy who received the watermelon cake specifically requested it, and he's the one who posted it on social media because he loved the watermelon cake. The original post by Jeremiah Brown.
Is it flavored like watermelon?
I don't know. I think it was a cake that just looked like a watermelon. He made the post. He said, "Lol to my family, no, to my fire family, much love, and thanks for the post-bariatric surgery cake / watermelon. We demolished this," meaning the cake, I assume.
Okay.
The reason for the watermelon cake is not because he's black and they're trying to make fun of him. It's because Brown says he ate a lot of watermelon to lose weight. So they made him a watermelon cake. And, maybe there was some tongue-in-cheek humor, I guess. But the point is he requested it and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The fire chief is a white guy, and he's vowing to investigate and figure out who is involved and who is behind this, even though we know who's responsible. It's the black guy who asked for it from his friends, trying to show support.
Why would he even bother?
So,
to satisfy the public, I suppose.
I guess, because, it was already out there through the social media post. So he's trying to clean up, I guess. But the thirst for hate crimes is so far beyond hoaxing now. It's imposing them on activity that black people voluntarily engage in and want. And I'm not even mad about, to perpetuate the perception that this is a huge problem. Even if the black guy involved is like, not only am I not bothered, I wanted that.
I wanted this.
And you ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. I mentioned this story. This is a doozy. And honestly, we were talking about this earlier. I think you're right that this probably is real. It's not a hoax.
Real. Yeah.
But I have to mention it because it's of the theme, and it's hilarious in some of its details. So in Pennsylvania, pride flags were reported stolen and chalk messages were found outside a couple places, a gay-owned Lancaster city business and a home. So the people you see pictured, that's Charlie Ballard and Rob Gay. His name is Rob Gay. And they call themselves a gay couple, as in, I guess, two men who are romantically involved. But in the picture, you tell me, I'm 99.9% sure that Charlie on the left is a woman, based on the fact that Charlie has very feminine facial features and what appear to be boobs.
What is a woman?
That's the question of the week, I suppose. Great movie, by the way. Everybody should check it out if you haven't had a chance to yet.
What is a woman?
Yeah, it's a good one. You haven't heard of it?
No.
Oh, Matt Walsh over at the Daily Wire. They just released that this week.
Oh, yes, I have heard about it. Yes.
Well worth the watch. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that Charlie here is a trans man, as in a woman. But because Charlie identifies as a man, that's how they call this gay, even though it isn't, except for the guy's name is Gay. So Rob Gay is involved in a heterosexual relationship that they're calling gay. The couple says someone stole their pride flag and wrote the word groomers in chalk outside of their business entrance. Someone reportedly did the same writing at the home of a lesbian couple elsewhere in the city. Apparently, there is security camera video showing the guy taking the pride flag and doing the groomers writing. The police say that the chalkings are considered non-criminal since no threats were made and those investigations are closed into the chalking.
Blow this up.
Oh
yeah, that's a chick.
I think so.
That escaped my notice earlier.
Remains under investigation. The police say they need the public's help in identifying the man who did it, even though the gay couple says they have since confronted the man when he later walked by their house again, according to this story. Anyway, who did the chalking and who took the pride flag? Whatever.
So
interested in
Robert
the-
Gay is the woman who's
No,
not.
Rob Gay is the guy.
but-
Charlie
so
Ballard is
he's
the
in
chick.
a gay couple, but he sticks his dick in his girlfriend's vagina.
Yeah, and that's gay.
But they're a gay
somehow.
couple.
Okay, this is the details here. Editor's note. They made an edit to this story. They said the article below has been updated to comply with style recommendations from the AP and the advocacy organization GLAAD. Both advise against using the term homosexuals to refer to gay people, as the word has been co-opted by some as a slur. Well, what happens when all the words are co-opted by the hateful as slurs? And to Blonde's point at the start of the show, what about the word faggot? When do you claim that back?
Yeah, the black people did it. I almost said the black people did it. I mean, the thing about the word homosexual is that it has Latin roots. It means like monosexual.
It is as proper.
It's highly descriptive.
You can't have a more proper term for them to say that that's unacceptable. It's like unacceptable to talk about gay people at that point.
I don't know. The Japanese, they still don't like you calling them Japs, though. And that's pretty descriptive.
Yeah, I guess. So you can't say homosexual, but here's another sentence that you identified. Lancaster City Council President Izzy Smith Wade L., who identifies as queer. So queer is fine, homosexual is out. Okay, those are the new rules, I suppose. If you're confused by all of this, get a load of this sentence that you also caught. This is a doozy. Remember, the guy's name is Gay. Ballard, who uses the pronoun they, and Gay, their fiance, said they felt targeted. So point of clarification, since they refers just to Ballard, did Gay also feel targeted? That's unclear.
So retarded.
And if Gay was targeted, is that because he's gay, or is that because he's a gay? And remember, he isn't gay. He's engaged to a woman. It's such a great story.
Trying to follow this mental gymnastics, I feel like I'm drunk.
Yeah. Well, here is another great story. They're just, I should have shaved these down, but there were just too many. I couldn't get rid of these. In Kentucky, State Representative Charles Booker won the Democratic nomination to challenge Rand Paul for his Senate seat in the fall.
Yeah.
He just won that nomination on May 17th, and he's already going big. He put out an ad in which he's actually wearing a noose, describing how Rand Paul and others plan to continue victimizing black people with it.
The pain of our past persists to this day. In Kentucky, like many states throughout the South, lynching was a tool of terror. It was used to kill my ancestors. I have become the first black Kentuckian to receive the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. Do we move forward together, or do we let politicians like Rand Paul forever hold us back and drive us apart? In November, we will choose healing. We will choose Kentucky.
Oh.
He's really not going to like getting electorally lynched in November. It's going to be really bad. Oh my God.
I have ancestors that were slave owners in Kentucky. They owned a salt mine and they had tons of slaves.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, the Willis Hargraves.
Oh, okay.
Could have taken care of the situation.
Well, point of fact, Rand Paul actually co-sponsored and voted for the federal anti-lynching bill that was signed by Biden in March. So he's not even right about that. As though anybody thought that Rand Paul was like pro-lynching or something. But he's very wrong about that. Also, point of fact, there hasn't been a lynching of any kind in Kentucky. There hasn't been a public hanging since 1936. And that wasn't even
a 2021.
That wasn't a 22. Yeah. You're since. I thought you were saying current year. You're saying there was one last year.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Just slid under the radar. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Got no press.
But anyways, this last one in Kentucky in 1936 wasn't even a lynching in the mob sense, because the guy who was hanged, Rainey Bethea, was convicted of murder and robbery. So he had a trial. It wasn't a lynch mob type thing. At some point, it is time to move on. But interestingly, MSNBC is slamming this candidate, this Charles Booker guy, for the opposite reason, that he's being disrespectful to lynchings that are still too fresh. Their headline in their op-ed pages says, "Using lynching imagery to get votes disrespects black people living and dead." You scroll down and the story reads in part, this is not ancient history. These were people who were in my grandfather's and great grandfather's generations who were killed by the parents and parents and grandparents of the so-called greatest generation, maybe even killed by members of that generation itself. This is from Jesse Holland at MSNBC. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Current polling shows that Rand Paul leads Charles Booker in his re-election effort by 16 points. We shall see if this noose strategy pays off. All right. Last one is, it's not a hoax either. It's just a hilarious story of similar theme. In Honolulu, Hawaii, there must not be a lot of significant news to talk about because local ABC's top story on Friday was a guy with supposed fuck BLM license plates who will not surrender the plates to police.
That's it?
Yeah.
Evening, our top story tonight, this symbol of hate on Oahu's roads that should have been gone almost a year ago.
Yeah, you might remember the story that we first brought you last August. You see right there, that offensive license plate that we're talking about, it was approved by the city and county of Honolulu, essentially saying FBLM or Black Lives Matter.
After our initial story went viral, the city told us the plate was recalled and would have to be surrendered by the driver.
Yeah, we thought that would be the end of the story, but recently people contacted us again telling us those plates are still out on the road, so we looked into it again, and this story's new at 9. The city and county admitted the plate never should have been allowed in the first place. Any combination of the F word should automatically be rejected. From there, officials recalled the plates and sent the owner 3 letters to surrender the offending plates. We now know those letters were ignored. At this point, the car's registration and safety check are both expired.
Looks like
HPD tells us they're aware of the recalled plate, but they can't go on to private property to get them. They can, though, pull him over on public roads.
And if you claim to be the Aloha State and HPD represents that Aloha, then do something about this kind of stuff. And the fact that you didn't, right, may be more proof that his license plate may be correct, you know, that our lives don't matter, that our feelings don't matter, that these types of things can be publicly done.
If you see that car, you can report it to police. Now, a hold has been placed on the vehicle's registration on any further renewals until he surrenders those plates. Meanwhile, police say they haven't caught the driver to get those plates just yet.
What an awesome guy. I want to meet the guy
He seems
that
like
does that.
a real
Did you hear
legend.
what that black guy said? You don't care about our lives. You don't care about our feelings. Your feelings and your lives, totally different things.
Yeah. He's a professor at the University of Hawaii or some college there, by the way. But yeah, if my feelings get hurt, that means my life doesn't matter. Have you tried not getting your feelings hurt? It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I would recommend it. But yeah, as though valuing your life means that I can't say anything critical ever. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious in this news piece. This is far too offensive for public viewing, which is why we're putting it in full screen display for a significant portion of the story.
These journalists, gosh, do they ever look at like the stories they're covering and they're like, I'm really doing the important work?
They seem enthused about it. I don't know. And I get the rule. Seriously speaking, I get the rule from the state about the F word. If you want to have this profanity rule, okay. But why? I guess my question is, why is this automatically racism? I can't oppose BLM without being racist. Could I have a license plate? I know it's too many characters, but what if my license plate said, I oppose BLM? Would that be acceptable? Or is that
what if it
racist?
said like, fuck Whitey? Would this be happening?
That's expedited. You get that one made immediately.
Yeah, really. You don't even have to register your vehicle anymore. It just does it automatically for the next decade.
To that professor's point, aren't we the Aloha State? How the hell is Black Lives Matter part of the Aloha spirit, I suppose? We're talking about $1 billion worth of riot damage, 25 people dead in just 2020 alone. How is that part of some Aloha spirit? And I know this point is tongue in cheek, but you have to allow a person to define the meaning of their own message. And how do we know that this guy just hasn't had a very long dispute with the Bureau of Land Management, like the Bundys? We don't. He's not talked. He's not said anything that this is Black Lives Matter. We've simply inferred that. And
I don't. If you're Samoan, most Hawaiians are Samoan, right? Is that their?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. All those Pacific Island things. I don't know.
What do you have in common with like American blacks?
Yeah,
why make this alliance? It doesn't make any sense. Just because you guys are like slightly darker than my shade of skin, suddenly you have all of these philosophical things in common and shit. And you should ally against white people. Why?
Yeah.
Do you want to stop white tourism to Hawaii? Tell me that you do, and we'll see how well you guys do that.
They proved that with their response to Corona. They absolutely want to stop tourism to Hawaii. And even if he does hate BLM, if his license plate says I hate BLM, who cares? That means he's cool.
Yeah.
So To that guy, not that I expect that he'll hear this, but in the off chance I ever reach his ear, never surrender those plates because they are a relic now. I hope he has hidden them somewhere for his personal collection. I would buy them. I would be willing to pay
$200 for those.
As I mentioned earlier, I have more important bills.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I want these plates. I want these plates, and I'd be willing to figure out a way to obtain them if the opportunity came about. Anyway, we're behind schedule, so let's get to the movie review.